Hello and welcome back. My name's Andrew Keeping, and in today's video we're going to be looking at a brand new microphone that's just come on the market by the company FiFine. It's a budget microphone and it's a dynamic microphone, so that basically means that we can use it for singing, we can use it for karaoke, we can use it for the spoken word. So let's dive in and just see how good this microphone can be. Today we're going to be looking at this microphone, the FiFine dynamic microphone. My first impressions when I unboxed it was that I have to say I anticipated something a little bit cheaper looking, not so robust, but in fact it's a pretty sturdy, weighty piece of kit. The other thing is, what are we looking at competing against? What other microphones, dynamic microphones, are there on the market? Well, the market is saturated with dynamic microphones, and you're usually looking at some of the better end ones, like the Beyerdynamics, the AKGs, of course the Shure SM58s, and these are from about £100, 80 to £100 to up to about sort of £400 or £500 for some of the Neumann microphones. So you're pretty much looking at a vast spectrum of sound. I'll compete this one today and do a test to show you the comparison between the SM58 and this FiFine K6. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by the quality when you bear in mind that this microphone retails for £19 on Amazon. Now, the construction is pretty solid. It's metal, which gives you confidence. If you're going to drop it, you feel that it's going to be pretty sturdy and rugged. And the top mesh has a pop filter included within it, so that means the sibilances, you're not going to get pa, ta, sa. They're going to be reduced, which on a dynamic microphone, because of the higher frequency response anyhow, they're pretty good. But as you can see, it's even there. I would say that for the money, I think this looks really good. The screw is okay. It feels like you have to really make sure that it fits in, but when it screws in, it's absolutely fine. And it's a comfortable handheld. The switch is plastic and it's just a slide up and down switch. Now, I can imagine it doesn't click into place, which I think I would personally prefer. However, and I don't know how much of that would wear down given time, but I do prefer having a microphone with an on-off switch. It means that you can leave the microphone on the stand and turn it off and leave your levels set on either the mixing desk or on your amplifier and just turn the switch off. If you compare it with some of the SM58s, they don't have switches on. Some of the models do, but some of them don't. And I've come across some where I've been given a microphone and I have to turn the volume down and then turn it up, and you have the issues there of having to balance every time you pick up your microphone to talk. So I think the on-off switch is a really good move. Unlike condenser microphones, it doesn't need phantom power, which is a great benefit when you come to being on stage and just wanting to plug and play. As with most dynamic microphones, it uses a cardioid pattern, polar pattern. What does that mean? Well, a lot of people that don't understand microphones and don't understand how to use them most, if you were presenting somebody on stage or you're talking through a microphone, they'd be holding it like this. Now, the problem with that is they're not accessing the polar pattern appropriately. This cardioid pattern that we have on dynamic microphones uses, as the cardioid would suggest, cardiology, the heart. It's in the shape of a heart, and it follows this pattern, so it follows a sharp harp shape here and that way there. So you imagine that if you were holding a microphone like this, If you're talking down to it, it would be fine, or talking into the microphone so it's pointing into your mouth. You get the full polar pattern. Now, if you hold it like that, you're only getting a limited amount of frequency. So therefore, you're not benefiting from the microphone. So, in order to test this microphone thoroughly, we're going to use various different examples. First of all, what I'm recording on at the moment is I've got the Schoeps Series CM6. This is a lot of classical recordings use this because it's not coloured in any way and it's a very transparent sound. And I'm running it through my RME Babyface Pro, which has very clear and clean preamps. So we're not colouring the sound and we're getting a very authentic interpretation of the sound that you're hearing today. I will run this directly into my computer using Cubase, and I'll demonstrate how that works. And I'm going to use the microphone so you hear it without any room noise on it. Now, the other way that I'm going to use it is to test it coming out of an amplifier. The amplifier I'm going to use for that today would be an AER 40 watt amplifier. Now, today I have tested this in a larger hall environment with students and also with some of my singers, getting a better example of exactly what's involved with this microphone and how it performs in those sort of conditions. So here we are on the Cubase, and I've plugged in through the RME Babyface Pro, and I've got the microphone set up. Now I am placing the microphone just in front of my mouth, and what you're going to see here at the bottom here is my input for the FiFine K6 dynamic microphone. I'm going to just press record so we can test this out and compare it later. Now, at the top here, that was the room mic that I was using earlier with the Schoeps. And what we're going to try now is do a little test where I'm going to move the microphone away from my face and then back up towards, at the moment I've got it about 2-3 inches from my mouth, and I'm going to move it further away, further away, further away. It's now about sort of 10 inches from my face, and it's still pointing in, and I'm coming back. So actually the sound isn't too bad at all. I've got my headphones on, so I'm listening to exactly what you're hearing. There's no room noise because it's a dynamic microphone with a cardioid pattern. And I'm now going to move it to the side of the face so it's off axis. And you can hear the difference where you really do need to keep this pointed towards the mouth so that you get a good use of the cardioid pattern. Okay, and I'm back on again. This time I'm using the Shure SM58. And I'm going to start recording with that. I've kept exactly the same gain settings. I could probably push it up a little bit more than this because it seems quite low. However, we're using exactly the same setting. Now, let me come in and I'm going to turn it up a little bit more and then we can see. So I'm going to push it up. Let's push it up to about there. And we're going to have a listen to that. You can see just on the screen the difference in the dynamic gain. So actually the FiFine has a higher gain and you can hear the difference. If I just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to go back to the FiFine and we'll have a listen to that. Let's go with exactly the same as before, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm working with the sibilances so that you can hear how the pop filter's working and the higher frequency. Let's test out in a live room environment using the Schoeps to record the sound of the room, plugging the FiFine into an amplifier.
And if she were here right now, I'd tell her you're all I want, you're all I need. Your imperfections are perfect to me. And if I had you in my arms, I'd never let you leave. If wanted me. You're all I want, you're all I need. Your imperfections are perfect to me. And if I had you in my arms, I'd never let you leave. And if she were here right now, I'd tell her, you're all I want, you're all I need. Your imperfections are perfect to me. And if I had you in my arms, I'd never let you leave. If only you wanted me. You're all I want, you're all I need. Your imperfections are perfect to me. And if I had you in my arms, I'd never let you leave. If only you wanted me. The way they sparkled in the lights, the way they changed from green to blue. That's how I fell in love with you. I fell in love with your smile. You made me stay for. Fell in love with your eyes, the way they sparkled in the light, the way they changed from green to blue. That's how I fell in love with you.
That microphone's about 100 to just over £100.
Yeah.
The microphone before, the FiFine, that is just £19.99 with a cable.
With the cable.
What do you think of that?
It's very good for £20, obviously. This is, if you have the budget for it, a good microphone is always good, like this one. But for
If you're using it for karaoke or something like that.
For karaoke, that's fine. That's perfect actually for small things. And if you're recording, there's always things like EQ, which might take a bit more time, but you should be fine with. And that is a very good microphone for £20.
So you could actually notch out the lower to mid frequencies to take away the boominess of the other microphone.
With some editing, you could fundamentally make these pretty similar.
Okay. So, in conclusion, what do we think about the FiFine dynamic microphone? It is an obviously cheaper model, not just because of some of the smaller little detailing, like the button, and the weight isn't quite as heavy as other dynamic microphones, but the frequency, it tends to flatter a less trained voice in the fact that it boosts the mid to low frequencies a little bit more, which gives it a bit of a boom. So if you are a top-end professional singer, you would have to be far more delicate in your approach to the microphone. However, we cannot get away from the fact that this is a microphone that is targeted at the karaoke singer. It flatters the karaoke singer. It's £19 for crying out loud. What more do you want? You get the cable with it. I think this is an absolute bargain, and if you are that target audience of karaoke singer, first time singer, you want to play with a microphone and a lead, this is a really good buy for that. So if you fancy that, have a look at the link below on Amazon. You can go to that link, and if you've liked this video and you found it useful, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the button that will alert you to other videos that I make and reviews that I'll be making in the process. And if you've liked this one, please let me know, that's great, and click the thumbs up. In the meantime, any comments you want to ask, any videos you'd like me to review, I'm more than happy to do that. We're a great community here on YouTube, so we're all here for the benefit of helping others. So come and join me on our journey into talking music and musical equipment. I'll see you next time.